In the vast savannas of Kenya, where the red soil meets the horizon and the call of cattle fills the air, the Maasai people live by traditions as old as time itself. In a small village nestled in the heart of this land, lived a young woman named Nazirian. She was the daughter of a respected elder, admired for her beauty and grace. But despite her outward serenity, Nazirian's heart carried a secret of love that would soon be tested against the unbreakable weight of tradition. Nazirian had secretly fallen in love with Lamayan, a brave Maasai warrior. After meeting at a village celebration, drawn to him as he danced with spears held high, they began meeting in secret under acacia trees, dreaming of a future together, even though it seemed impossible. One morning, as the sun rose over the village, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, Nazirian's father called her into their family's hut. He stood tall, his expression serious yet proud, as he told her the news she had always known would come.
Nazirian, the time has come for you to be married. Mr. Markart, a man of wealth and wisdom, has offered a great dowry for your hand. This marriage will bring honor to our family and secure our future.
Nazirian's heart sank. Mr. Markart was an elder, respected and wealthy, but she did not love him. Her heart belonged to another Lamayan, a young Maasai warrior known for his bravery and strength. But in their community, love was not always enough. Tradition, duty, and family honor came first.
Father.
Nazirian hesitated, struggling to find the words. She knew she could not refuse old Markart, but the thought of marrying him filled her with sorrow.
I will honor your wishes,
she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper.
You are a good daughter, Nazirian. This marriage will bring much joy to our family.
That evening, as the village prepared for a night of celebration, Nazirian slipped away to meet Lamayan in their secret place, a small clearing beyond the village where an old acacia tree stood alone, its branches stretching wide like the arms of an elder welcoming them. The sun was setting, casting a warm glow over the land as Nazirian approached, her heart heavy with the weight of what she had to say. When Lamayan saw her, his face lit up, but he quickly noticed the sadness in her eyes.
What is it, Nazirian? Why do you look so troubled?
They have arranged my marriage to old Markart. The wedding will happen soon.
Lamayan's grip tightened on her hands, and his jaw clenched in frustration.
You belong with me, Nazirian. I will not let them take you from me.
Lamayan stepped closer, his voice urgent.
We can leave tonight, Nazirian. Run away together. We'll go beyond the hills, far from the village, where no one will find us. We can live our lives freely, without the burden of these traditions.
For a moment, Nazirian allowed herself to imagine it a life with Lamayan. Away from the watchful eyes of their community, she saw them building a small home together, living off the land, raising children surrounded by love, not duty. But as quickly as the vision came, it faded.
I love you, Lamayan, but I cannot bring shame upon my family. My father would never forgive me.
Lamayan's eyes softened as he cupped her face in his hands.
And what about you, Nazirian? Will you forgive yourself for losing the one you love?
Nazirian closed her eyes, tears streaming down her cheeks. They stood there in the fading light, holding each other as the weight of their situation pressed down on them. The world seemed to stand still as they shared what they knew could be one of their last moments together. Days passed, and the preparations for Nazirian's wedding to old Markart were in full swing. The village bustled with activity as women wove intricate beadwork, men prepared cattle for the dowry, and the elders made offerings to the spirits. Nazirian moved through the motions, her heart heavy with dread. On the day of the wedding, Nazirian was dressed in the finest traditional attire. Her body was adorned with beads and jewelry, her hair braided and coated with red ochre. She looked every bit the bride her family had hoped for, but inside, she felt empty. As the ceremony began, Nazirian glanced around the gathered crowd, searching for Lamayan. Finally, She saw him, standing at the edge of the gathering, his face unreadable. He had come to see her one last time, to say goodbye without words. Their eyes met across the distance, and in that brief moment, they shared the sorrow of what they had lost. The ceremony proceeded as planned, with old Makit smiling proudly beside his new bride. The village cheered and celebrated. But Nazirian's heart ached with the weight of her choice. She had done what was expected of her. But at what cost? As the sun set over the village and the celebration continued late into the night, Nazirian quietly slipped away. She walked to the edge of the village, where the open plain stretched endlessly before her. The stars twinkled above, distant and unreachable, like the life she had dreamed of with Lamayan. Somewhere out there, Lamayan was preparing to leave as well. His warrior duties would take him far from the village, perhaps forever. Nazirian knew that once he left, they would never see each other again. She stood there in the quiet, feeling the vast emptiness around her, the echoes of her lost love. Years passed, and Nazirian became the dutiful wife her family had hoped for. She bore children, tended to her household, and was respected within the community. All Makit provided for her well, but her heart never fully healed. The love she had lost remained a quiet ache in her chest, a memory she carried with her always. Every now and then, in the quiet moments when the village was still and the night was peaceful, Nazirian would think of Lamayan. She would remember the way he had held her, the way they had dreamed of a life free from the constraints of tradition, and though she knew she had made the choice her family had expected, a part of her always wondered what her life might have been if she had chosen love instead. The years could not erase the memory of Lamayan, nor the love they had shared. In the end, Nazirian fulfilled her duty, but her heart remained bound to the warrior she had left behind.